Hello everyone, Mr. Lipchick here, and our discussion for today is early China and Confucianism. A few words about the geography of China. China is a vast country that began in the eastern region of Asia. Over time, it expanded its borders to the north, south, and west. Today, China stretches over 3,000 miles from east to west. And it has the world's largest population with over 1 billion people. China has almost 9,000 miles of coastline. It shares borders with North Korea, Vietnam, India, Pakistan, and Mongolia. Its earliest civilizations emerged along its major rivers, the Yangtze and the Yellow Rivers. The Yellow River is the source of fertile soils and the surrounding lands. The soil is nourished by the silt and minerals deposited as the river flows through it. The river valleys were the source of fresh water for agriculture, making them the center of early Chinese civilization. Ancient China was bordered by two large deserts, the Gobi Desert to the northwest and the Taklamakan Desert to the west. These deserts provided barriers to invasion, but also limited early Chinese expansion. Chinese mountain ranges also kept out invaders and limited expansion. The Taihang, Qinling, and Nanling mountain ranges provide a border for China's eastern and central plains. The Himalaya mountains limited China's southward expansion. The earliest Chinese dynasty, dating back 4,000 years, was the Z dynasty. Around 1600 BCE, the Shang dynasty emerged after conquering the Z. It ruled for around 400 years. The Zhou dynasty replaced the Shang in 1046 BCE and established a feudal system in China that lasted about 500 years. Around 700 BCE, the Zhou dynasty began to lose control of the feudal lords in China. Fighting within Chinese territories took place between 475 BCE and 221 BCE. This was known as the Warring States period. In 221, the fighting ended when the Qin dynasty came to power. During the Warring States period, Chinese philosophers sought solutions to end the fighting and create a peaceful society. Three philosophers, Confucius, Laozi, and Han Feizi, developed three very different philosophies. These philosophies continue to influence China today. Confucius, a teacher, lived in China from 551 BCE to 479 BCE during the Warring States period. Confucius contributed the violence to a lack of morality among people and rulers. The relationship between people needed to change before society could become peaceful. Confucius believed that rulers needed to be honest and set an example for their subjects. He believed that if rulers had integrity, behaved with integrity, so would their subjects. After his death, Confucius's students gathered many of his sayings in a work known as the Analects. An analect is a saying used to teach people to behave virtuously. Emperor Wu Dai of the Han Dynasty, who lived between 206 BCE and 220 CE, made Confucianism the state philosophy. All high-ranking officials were required to become Confucian scholars. The emperor was the head of the government and ruled with what was known as the Mandate of Heaven. The Mandate of Heaven held that if a ruler was good, the gods would approve of him and he would have the right to rule. If he behaved oppositely, he would lose the right to rule. The people could then remove him by force if necessary. The Mandate of Heaven would sometimes be used by the Chinese to bring in a new ruler. Confucius believed that a successful society was based upon relationships of honesty and mutual respect. He believed that if followed, his philosophy would bring China out of the warring states period. Confucius defined 5 key relationships: ruler and subject, father and son, husband and wife, older brother and younger brother, and senior friend and junior friend. Each relationship was hierarchical, with one of the people in charge, that is, the ruler, father, husband, older brother, or senior friend. In each relationship, the person with more power was required to set a good example for the less powerful person, and to use his power wisely. The dominant person should act fairly and honestly, behaving with integrity. The person with less power must obey and respect the more powerful one. Each person should behave according to his station in life. This would create a peaceful society. Children in Chinese society were taught to practice another value called filial piety. Filial piety refers to devotion and respect for one's parents. Filial piety is the basis for Confucianism. There are 24 traditional Chinese stories meant to strengthen and pass on this tradition. In sum, China is a vast country with many geographic barriers that kept it isolated for centuries. The Yellow and Yangtze rivers contributed to the fertile lands along which the ancient Chinese civilization developed. Chinese history includes many dynasties and emperors. The philosophy of Confucianism has had a profound impact on Chinese history. That concludes our discussion. Thank you for attending, and I look forward to talking with you in the future. Have a great day.